Hi, folks. I wanted to talk about finding strength, okay, in certain moments, or just in general, finding strength and being strong. And this occurred to me a few days ago. As I've mentioned several times, I live in Johannesburg, South Africa, okay, and I was raised in the city, and I've never really been fond of it. And I'm not really fond of cities as well, but this one in particular. Okay. Again, I've spoken about it on from many levels, from the lack of nature, the intense energy of it, from crime rate, from just so many different factors. It just doesn't resonate and align with my being. And I've tried several times to leave the city and relocate to really only find myself back here in the city. And then this time I've been back for some time, and I've sort of become, there's a guy doing he's cutting the grass next door. I don't know if you can hear, with a weed eater. I actually thought I was going to do some meditation just now, and then I heard the weed eater going, and I thought, no, that's going to bother me, so maybe let me do something else. And then it's still bothering me. And then decided, okay, let me do a recording about being strong. And maybe this weed eater and everything else maybe ties into about being strong, being annoyed, but still being strong at the same time. And there's two things I really want to kind of say. So let me get into it. Let me try and remember, even if I try and remember the second one, the point that I wanted to make. So I've been living in the city now, and for myself, I used to need to get out once a month of the city and get into nature and whatever it is, or even just go to another city where maybe there was an ocean, maybe more of a more chilled city, not so much a rat race city in a way. This is also, the city that I live in is heavily populated, so there's traffic everywhere. It's like gridlocked all the time, and it's just exhausting for me. And whereby sometimes I visit Durban, which I've mentioned before, has got an ocean, it's a coastal city, and so I enjoy it more. The vibe is much more chilled. It's not such a rat race. I mean, it is a city, but still. So I need that time to sort of, get away from Johannesburg and be able to have some time out, which is very important, very necessary. And so I was doing it once a month, and now I'm finding that I need to do it once every 2 weeks. But not only going to Durban, but maybe going to the country, maybe going an hour and a half out of the city or something like that, and whatever it is. But now the problem is, every 2 weeks it's just too darn expensive to do. I mean, whether it's an airplane ticket, or whether it's gas for my car, or whatever it is, accommodation, food, etc. It just builds up. So it's been difficult for me to get out every 2 weeks, and also there's a limited amount of places that I can go to. And also sometimes, even if I want to get out of the city for, let's say, one night, let's say I'll go on a Sunday night, I'll go like on a Sunday and stay for Sunday night. Just to get out of the city is an hour of intense traffic. So if I go, let's say, to a place outside of the city, which is a little bit more country, not extreme country, but country nonetheless, and by the time I've gotten there, I'm much more exhausted because of the traffic, even on a Sunday, because there's no weekend anymore in modern culture, in the modern world that we live in. And then on Monday morning, or Monday afternoon, I got to trek back, and that's very tough, folks. It's like just that, having to hit that traffic again. It's like it just, from all the sort of relaxation and time out and sort of de-stressing, I'm back in the energy of things. And so it doesn't help. My point being is that, so now I've been in the city for almost 3 weeks, and my attitude before was like, I'm done. And I also feeling very sorry for myself, feeling very annoyed, very frustrated. My head hurts. It's just too over. I feel claustrophobic. I wake up and it's the same energy all the time, and it's the same environment all the time. And I'm a free spirit. I like to spend time outdoors, and there's nowhere to spend time outdoors here. There's nowhere to venture, and there's nowhere, nothing, really nothing. And so it frustrates me, and I feel claustrophobic, and I feel weakened by it, and I just feel as well victimized. And what's happened is that over the last few days I just haven't been able to get away for different reasons, financial, other responsibilities, commitments that I have, and whatever it is. So it's been almost 3 weeks now that I've been in the city, and I can feel it. but I'm still saying, you know what, I won't allow it to get the better of me. Okay? And it's amazing, since I've actually taken that attitude and approach, I feel so much more stronger. I still feel I need to get out of the city, but there's a difference. There's a difference now. It's almost like it won't completely, wound me, or it won't get the better of me, or something like that. Like, I can feel it. I can feel the claustrophobia. I can feel the energy of the place. I mean, the house that I live in is a busy road behind me. I hear the traffic. I hear the gardeners. I feel the work week energy, whatever it is. I feel the disconnected from nature. I can feel it. But at the same time, I'm almost like allowing it. As before, I think I wasn't allowing it, which was making matters so much worse for me. I felt like I had to get out. Like, I don't know, I can't survive if I don't get out. Like, I don't know what will happen necessarily, but it'll just be too overwhelming, or just too agonizing, or just too despairing if I don't get out. Okay, and it's going to be too annoying, and it's going to push all my buttons, and it's going to, whatever it is. And so I chose, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to play that game. I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm going to see that I'm saying that I need to get out, but I can't. But I'm going to also accept to a certain degree that this is the way it is for now. I'm saying until maybe next weekend I can get away or something, which will be maybe another month that I'm in the city for. But what can I do? And so that's it. It's an allowing. It's allowing where I can't really do much about the situation. I can if I force. But again, I've also realized in life, when you force, trouble starts. Trouble really starts. That's what I find. And what do I mean by trouble? Things just don't go your way. I'm sure you folks know what I'm talking about. Things don't go your way. Anyway, not to keep this too much longer, but that's the point. In so many situations that we find ourselves in, we feel that this is going to be the end of us. We feel that we don't have enough energy, we don't have enough strength, we don't have enough knowing or something to handle this. It's just too much. Okay, we just can't bear it. It's soul crushing. It's depleting. It's just despairing. It's just a hopeless situation, and I surrender. But I surrender in not like let it be, but I surrender in like, well, you feel like your hands are tied, like whatever, handcuffed, and you just cannot get out. It's like, well, I just surrender. I'm not even going to fight anymore. But in an unhealthy way, there's differences in surrendering, I think, and allowing. There's differences. Sometimes people will say, well, I will allow the abuse. You're saying I'm in an abusive relationship. I'll allow it. And that way I'm surrendering, and that way there's a freedom in that. Okay, that's not good, folks. There's an allowance in, I don't know, your boss taking advantage of you. It's like, well, it is what it is. I think so many people today are just allowing things, or just surrendering, or giving up. That's what I think I'm saying, is giving up. I can't. That's it. Because when I hear the blanket statement, just surrender and have no desire, or have no. It's like, allow. It's like, it's a blanket statement. You can't say that for everything. There are certain times where it's appropriate, and there's certain times where it's not appropriate. There's certain things that you should not allow, especially the things that you can change. You see, that's where I think we make excuses and we let ourselves off the hook. We say, well, there's nothing I can do about this. When you can do something about it, whatever that is, you can do something about it. So people say, well, I can't lose weight. There's nothing I can do about it. It's hopeless. So no, that's bullshit. But so I can't do exercise. It's like, it's rubbish. You can. Well, I can't meditate or whatever. You can. You can journal. You can be mindful. You can be. You're just making excuses. It's like, I can't face another day. Say, yes, you can. Or you can face another hour. Jordan Peterson says about that, when things are really, really intense, and you're really struck by tragedy or trauma or something like that. He says, narrow your vision or your intention down to even just the next minute, getting through the next minute. Don't have long-term plans, thinking in advance. Just get through the next hour, and the hour after that, minimize things. I remember I was speaking to a friend of mine. I'm not friends with anymore. Haven't seen him in years. Named Saul. I don't know where that guy is. And we would speak, and he just came out of a divorce, and it came unexpected to him, and also he was dealing with some other issues, pharmaceutical, or addiction issues to tablets and things like that, and medications of all sorts. And when I was speaking to him just about, because he was also becoming aware, conscious, and we're having like deep conversations, and it was overwhelming for him, and just facing life, and he lost his job. He's in a bad space, and he just kept on saying, he said, let's just deal with today. Let's just deal with today. And so that's it, folks. I mean, that's the sideline, but in our average normality of things, and where times are tough, and we think we can't find the strength, I think we can. I think it's the hardest thing to find the strength. I think it's so easy to give up. I think it is it's the easiest thing in a way to sort of just mellow in the despair of things. Just to you just see with people all the time. It's like this is out of my control. This is out of my hands. I can't do anything about it, and it's terrible. It's terrible that people, even in their own life, I mean, for their own well-being, whatever. And so that's my point, folks, is that I think we're a lot stronger than we give ourselves credit for. And I think it's very hard to find the strength, but I think that's what's required, It's funny because, it's ironic, rather, let's say. It's like we want strength, okay? We want to have strength for life, and we want to have confidence for life, but we just want to be given it. We don't want to have to exercise it and get better at it. It's like picking up an instrument. I just want to be able to play the guitar. Okay, I just want to be able to play it. I don't want to have to go through the stresses of and the aggravation and the and the frustration, and then how stupid I sound, and how and I just can't. I just want to be able to learn how to play the guitar, and that's how people say, well, I just want to learn. I just want to be strong. I just want to say, I just want to be patient. Okay, so well, no, these are all practices, and life sends you. You see, this is the irony of it. It sends you all of these challenges in order to find the strengths, and to find the strengths and the capabilities and the methods and whatever it is and the skills, okay? And so that's what I'm saying. It's like if I just, let's say for myself, said, well, there's nothing I can do. I give up about, going away, getting into nature. I give up, and I'm just going to be mopey. And I'm just going to mope around. I'm going to feel despaired and depressed. I'm going to feel like just another day. Just get through it. Grind my teeth about it. And I'd probably feel like, oh, why do I have to make videos, or why do I even? You become apathetic. You become, in a way, sometimes nihilistic as well when you don't find your strength. Okay, something happens. You deteriorate. I think every time there's an opportunity for strength to be found and to be gained and practiced, and when you don't take it, there's a deterioration, right, within yourself, and there's a hopelessness that sets in, right, and there's a despair that sets in. So you could almost say that finding your strength is not only healing, it's not only growing, okay, but it's fending off and it's keeping away a lot of hopelessness and despair and helplessness, okay, and victimization. All right, so it's very healthy. There's a lot of benefit in finding our strength. It takes a lot to find it. It's a lot, but even for myself, because I can see, even sitting like after this recording, and say, oh, woe is me. All I just want is a bit of nature, all I just want is a flowing stream. All I just want to do is, I don't know, feel fresh air, breathe fresh air. I think they said Johannesburg has got the 5th most unhealthiest air in the world. Oh, that's just charming, folks. It's like, oh. and you do, and you feel claustrophobic in the world you live in, that we live in, where you live, and your environments, and the news, and the, consumerism, and the politics, and everything else, and the media, and whatever, the whole story, and the helicopters flying over, and if you can hear it, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's and it will go at 11 o'clock at night, 2 a.m. in the morning, no problem. So sometimes when I hide under my blanket and be like, in my bed and be like, oh. But anyway, so the world can feel that way. It's like in relationships, in standing in the shopping mall, wanting to pay for your groceries, getting an unexpected bill from wherever it is. I don't know, so many things. that can really sort of chip away at us every day, every day. And so that's what every day is. There is a bit of a battle and a challenge to every day. Okay? Don't be naive that you think you can wake up in the morning and you're content and life's beautiful and it's going to it's going to stay that way necessarily. It might not be that way at all. Okay? You might walk into your kitchen and realize, I don't know, your fridge is broken and now you don't have any money to buy a new fridge, and all your goodies and your groceries and your frozen foods are all going to go off, and it's like, well, where did all your peace go all of a sudden, right? Where did all your day was looking peachy? You were heading out to the beach, on a family beach day, and then it starts raining, and it's like, So there are things, we know this, I'm speaking about the obvious, but we don't take it deep into heart enough how these are opportunities which is so hard to speak of, to find strength. Alright folks, I think I've made my point. I've done that several times now, so I think I'll end off on that. Alright folks, so yeah, my wish and blessing to you is that you find strength in the hardest of times and the most challenging of times and the most desperate of times. And that goes for me as well. Alright. Another helicopter. Yeah. Alright folks, we'll chat soon. Take care.